Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to be talking about images in SwiftUI. So basically, there is a image view that's actually used specifically to create images or draw images into your view. Okay, and it takes various different parameters. Basically, you can create an image out of CG image, out of system image, that is your SF symbols, and UI image, and various other image formats. So let's take a look at their initializers and see what all we can do with images. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a property for a variable for a CG image, and we're going to use UI image to basically extract a UI image out of our assets. And I have a Apple right here, WWDC 2020 logo, and I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to simply, I have called it Apple, so I'm just going to say Apple. And we know that this asset actually exists there, so I'm gonna force unwrap, and we're gonna say CG image. So I need CG image out of this. Okay, so now we can create our image. So we're gonna use the initializer that takes a CG image. So let's look for the initializer that takes an image. Okay, so first parameter should be, let's go ahead and go inside the definition. Okay, so I'm gonna simply first put CG image. Okay, and let's go inside the definition to see what all overload it can support. So we are looking for CG image. Okay, so this is the initializer. So it's image initializer. It's been supported to iOS 13 plus, and we have a CG image. So this initializer takes a CG image and then scale. Okay, and orientation. So you can define the orientation, and a label text. And now label text is basically used for accessibility reasons, and it's actually listed out right here. Okay, so you can actually find out what those specific parameters mean by going into the definition and looking at the comment. Okay, so let's go back, and we are going to basically add scale. So I'm going to add 1.0 for the scale. Okay, let me put everything else in the new line. So orientation, let's start with up. I want to show you what are the different options that we have available and how they differ from each other. We're gonna create a text. Okay, so this text is not gonna appear. Okay, so we're gonna first unwrap that one and resume. So this text right here is gonna be it's not gonna appear because that's accessibility. So when accessibility is on at that time, it's gonna actually the accessibility engine is gonna state what that image is all about. Okay, so that's what this is for. Yeah, so this is our image. As you can see, it's really big. Now you can use resizable modifier to resize the image to the current screen, or if, along with this modifier, you can give it a width and height for the image to appear. So I am going to give it 400 by 400. Okay, and now we're gonna start looking into basically how the orientation behaves. So there are various different options for orientation. You have down, so your image is gonna appear down. Okay, and up is basically the orientation that you have given, the correct up orientation that you have given to to the system. Down mirrored is basically mirrored version of your down side. So mirror image and down direction, so the orientation coordinates are going to change. Okay, so like that there are various different options. You have up mirrored as well, that's gonna mirror image your mirror image your image, and gonna show you that. Okay, so these are a few of the things that you can do with this modifier. Okay, and now the accessibility label, actually, if you don't define, then it actually sort of uses the name of the image. So it actually so image name and accessibility label are shared um, when you have not defined the label right here. So accessibility engine in this case is going to read just Apple if we were to remove this. Okay, we are not going to do that, but it's always a good practice to have leave accessibility text for accessibility engine to basically read out and define what it is that is presented in the in your image or in your content. Okay, now there are a few more things you can do with this. You can use the environment path of color scheme to basically provide a dark or lighter color theme. Okay, and what happens is basically you can depending upon how the color theme is, you can basically make your selection on what the image is going to look like in your dark appearance or in your light appearance of the color theme. Right, so in order to see how dark mode actually affects the image asset, first thing you need to be mindful of that it does not apply on CG image. Okay, so what you have to do first thing is basically, instead of using CG image, what you can do is you can simply use um, or you can simply say Apple here. Okay, and that necessarily does not change anything for us at this point. Hopefully, let's take a look. Okay, it does. Why does it? Because I have included a dark mode image. So what I've done is basically I've selected the asset, went into the appearance, and I selected, instead of none, which you would have selected by default, you're gonna choose any and dark. Okay, so all right, so let's go back and let me hide this so we can talk. Okay, so this is going to be the light version. Okay, so whenever I say it's the light version, it's going to display the original any section, any appearance image. Okay, and that switch happens automatically. Okay, so you can once again use a background color. So we can say dot background color dot primary. Okay, so this is a primary color that we are using. First of all, we are gonna go dark, and in the dark appearance, this is the image that's gonna be displayed. Okay, and we can actually use secondary color to give it a little bit of tint. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a little bit of tint, and this way, okay, this is more visible here. This way, basically, what happens is basically you have a ability to switch image assets based on the color theme. Rather than putting a conditional statement here, you just go ahead and include it as a as an asset, basically creating a variation for your dark and any appearance. Now you do have one more choice. Instead of dark and any, you can say dark, light, any, light, and dark. So basically what happens is, any other, if there is possibility. I mean, right now it's only light and dark, but if there's any other mode environment that device is in, it's going to display that asset. Otherwise, it's going to use light asset or dark asset defined by this asset catalog. Okay. All right. So that was about how to control assets based on the theme, the environment. Okay. Now you can also use a system image, or basically images in SF symbol, to load on your view. Okay, so as an image view, so you can simply remove that, and I'm gonna write it out here. So let's create a V stack. Okay, I'm gonna give it a spacing of 20 points, and gonna create an image. Okay, in order to use an image with system image or system name, which represents your SF symbol images, you have to use the system name label on image, and then you can define, for example, person. And as you can see, person appears. It can take font modifier, so you can have like large, for example, large title font modifier, or you can actually define a size. Okay, so I'm going to use the font modifier, and you can change the foreground color as well. I meant to use font modifier though, last title. There we go. Okay, and one of the other thing that you can actually do with it is you can control this with light and dark color as well. So you can actually go in your color asset, and you can create a color asset, so like color set. Okay, and you can give color sets dark and light values. So for example, I'm gonna give this sort of like light purplish color for any, and for the dark I'm gonna give it an orange color like that. Okay, so I'm gonna say image color or label color, just name it something. Okay, label color. Right, and now we're going to use that color on this view. Okay, so what we can do is we can create a background, and here we're going to create a color, and we're going to give the color name that we have chosen, so label color, like that. And let's give it a padding. There we go. Okay, so now we can actually let me show you a different way to apply the color scheme. So as you can see, the color scheme is applied. Let's change this to white. Okay, so now we have a dark color theme, and we can see the light color theme as well. And as you can see, the image's background is changing depending upon the color scheme we are in, or whether we are in dark mode or light mode. And same thing can be applied on your foreground for the image as well. Okay, so that's like, basically applying your chosen image colors, or your chosen colors, basically depending upon the scheme your phone is, your app is running on. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about UI image. So you've already seen with this example that we were using CG image to render an image, right? So we can simply use a UI image instead of CG image, and we can just say image, and this image has an overload that takes a UI image, and we're gonna supply our image here. And if I resume, you're gonna notice that we can still render the we can still render the image right there. Okay, and we can once again make it resizable and give it a frame as well, like so. Okay. All right. So as you can see, this is basically rendering a UI image inside the image. So you can actually render your UI image or CG image. A CG image, like you're gonna either produce yourself or you can actually apply it on the UI image to get a CG image version of UI image out. Okay. All right, so let's talk about aspect ratio as well. So aspect ratio is something that you can apply on your images, and if you apply aspect ratio modifier, then you're gonna see there are two versions. There's fill and there's fit. They work exactly as they work in UI image under UI kit framework. So basically it's sort of like one-to-one mapping between those two. It's just this uses as an aspect ratio as a modifier. Okay, and so that's actually one modifier that's going to be useful to you for while using images. And another one is basically using the rendering type. Okay, so or rendering mode. So you can simply say rendering mode, and this gives you a few examples, like you can render your image in template mode, you can apply none, or you can say original. Okay, and yeah, those three values. Okay, so as you can see, template actually creates a tint, and with template you can mainly apply all sorts of tint color changes and theme based changes into your images. The only drawback is that your image have to be in PNG format, first of all. Second thing, or vector format, and it should be vectors. So basically a non-shaded area, like the area other than edges and stuff, should be transparent, so your image looks image vector and edges look clear. Now if you look at this, in this case, because I had a JPEG image and it's a flat image, it basically drew the whole thing as black because it does not know where my view actually sort of ends, or sort of like, where the edges are. So the rendering engine cannot determine that. So in order to represent this better, we can actually use system image, and I'm gonna person. Okay, so because these are like system images, they don't really present the clear intent, because, like, template or original is not gonna have much effect on the visual aspect, because these are vectors, right? But you get the point, like, this is how your image should look like when you convert them into template. And reason we want to convert them into templates, so you can actually apply tint and other color-based modifications according to your theme. This is mainly used when you are using your images inside a tab view, and you want to apply tab-based app-based themes on tabs. Okay. Right, and resizable is something that we have already seen. Resizable takes a cap size cap inset as well, which takes an edge inset and the resizing mode. So we can actually set the resizing mode to tile, and if the image is really small, then tile property or stretch property is applied, right? And for the edges inset, you have the inset that you can define. Uh, Basically, this is the value according to which the image is gonna either stretch or tile. So that is why like you have this edges inset, so you can define that you only want top to basically grow, or leading, uh, bottom, trailing parts to basically stretch when you apply a rendering, a resizing on an image that's not big enough to be displayed on the viewport. Okay, all right, so that was it for the images part. I hope this actually clears some confusion and provides you help on your next image use within SwiftUI. And thanks again for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.